The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.
Shalom, Salama, Fiemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from the war around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I'll welcome you this morning. And yes, I said grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. If you don't like that, you can get off this channel. And listen, it's fine. Thank you for my brothers and sisters that, understand. They read the word. They see what the scripture says. They're not emotionalizing over it, but they're reading it. And I said this again, look, this is not a camp channel. You may have your own philosophy, and that's okay. But I look at scriptures, and I go off of what that scripture says. So if you need to have an understanding, that's between you and the Most High, because you're going to have to really, really figure that out here really soon. Because you never know where the Most High sends your help, who he has coming to help you. And as I was explaining, family, on this channel a while ago, I told y'all going to have to start making a decision, and y'all going to have to start being in a lot of prayer so you can really get tuned in to the Ruach HaKodesh. Don't take these scriptures lightly. Don't take your prayer time lightly. Because when you are able to hear his voice, guess what he's going to do? He's going to lead you and guide you into what? Into all truths. And I know a lot of our people get led and guided by what? By flesh. That's the easiest thing. Man, flesh is so easy to get into. And when you are about to get into flesh, guess what? The Ruach HaKodesh spider senses go off. And it's like, nah, don't go there. But in order to understand that, you have to be able to get into the word, and you have to be able to rightly divide it. That's what the scripture says. I can only come on here and talk and teach to some point. I know my limitations. And then I have to let the Most High do the work. So I'm going to be obedient to his will. And understand, when you're obedient to his will, the Most High takes care of you. If I wasn't obedient to his will, I would have been off of this channel a while ago. I wouldn't have almost 5,000 subscribers. That's fine. I'm not on here every day. I need subscribers, please. I'm not doing that. I hadn't been doing that. If you want to support this channel, hallelujah. I always say this, pray about it. Because I'm not going to emotionalize anybody. We've been too emotional. And guess what? That's how the nations get to us. We woke up in our captivity and we got too emotional, so we couldn't even do what the Most High was asking us to do because we were all in our feelings. And that's okay, because that's an indictment on me also. But when the Most High broke me down and had to show me what was of the flesh, I literally had to do a triple bypass. And I had to get all the arteries cleaned on out from all of the spiritual gunk and plaque that was stored away. Oh, yeah, periodic. Don't worry. My channel has been under attack for a while. I have, if you like the support, they shut down my Cash App. They shut it down as of last Wednesday. So you can support this channel either with Zelle or PayPal, and that's at Karis.Copeland at Copeland FLGRP.com. I have it scrolling on or on the bottom in this live stream, and I have it in the description. So first off, I would love to say thank you to all those that supported the Art of Diplomacy workshop that was held in Atlanta, Georgia last Friday, September 20th. I pray that that everyone that was there had an enjoyable time, had learned a lot, and understood the concepts of how things were going and how powerful they are. And when you employ them correctly, and all that was the understanding that we get from the Ruach HaKodesh that can then be consumed commercially, because he gives us the knowledge and understanding, so then we can do what? Train our brothers and sisters. Um, we are talking about hosting another one in Atlanta in another couple of months. And potentially hosting one here in Tampa, Florida. We're looking at the dates of the 25th and 26th, so in about a month. So I'm pushing that on out there. I will have details. It'll be Tampa, Florida. And when you see me here in Tampa, I will be a lot more refreshed because I won't have to worry about that 7 hour drive. Hallelujah. I'd like to shout out to our Q2A family. This weekend we had a Questite Africa family reunion. And that was for our volunteers and all those that had been with the organization. That was a way to meet our brothers and sisters that have done the work online, and we came together. Hey, we could do Charlotte. If you can find a venue, we'll be there. Let me tell you, the family reunion was awesome. The weather was great. The venues were awesome. Shout out to Sister Lashonda, the event coordinator, and Sister Stacy. I know, some people just like to be left in the background, but no, I'm going to shout y'all on out because the way that the Most High, has used our people in the organization has truly been wonderful. It's been amazing. And we are gearing up for greater things to come. But family, let me tell you, anybody can join Questite Africa. Bring your knowledge. Understand your knowledge is wealth. Even your experiences here in the United States, it's wealth. Everybody has an experience. Everybody knows how to function, how to do things, how to if you're able to even manage life, that is a wealth of knowledge because you even understand how to manage resources. Brother Mike and I have these conversations all the time, and he just looks and he's like, "Look, you have all this, you have the land, but boy, something simple that we take for granted of throwing away trash." Having landfills. I was talking to one of our sisters on out there, and she does. This is Sister Ashley from Nature's Legacy Garden. I got to redo the video because if when you do music on any of these, YouTube will try to shut down monetization. So I have to be very careful. But we were discussing, and yes, she had talked to Brother Mike, her sister Coco G, and Brother Fast Nickel. Yeah, I'm bringing them on up. Yeah, y'all all getting shined out today of how to not just build, but building starts at the soil. How do you get your soil together so you can actually grow plants, vegetables, trees that produce fruit? These are the things that, we may take that for granted, and we do take it for granted, especially here in the West. But let me tell you, family, as Brother Yakoba came on yesterday, and everybody was able to see with their very own eyes what was going on, I was watching something. Oh, I may bring that on up here from our Israelite brother north of us on the Canadian side that loves to prep. He was showing how folks were evacuating out of the war zone. And now understand, I'm going to bring some scriptures on up. I'm going to bring some scriptures on up because we're going to dig into this and how we look at this new phase of judgment. And then I'll open up uh the StreamYard for anybody that wants to bring in some amplifying knowledge that is relevant to this topic. So, yes, family, I literally have to qualify how you come on up here because folks have abused that. So, I have to have the foolishness disclaimer on out there. So, it's not wasting your time and it's certainly not wasting my time. So, I'm putting that on out there. I also want to shout out to all of my brothers and sisters on out there. I got a chance to attend Philadelphia, Atlanta on the Saturday service. That is Pastor Omar Tebow's satellite church in Atlanta. Funny thing is, when I'm like, okay, where's this? Where's the church at? It was literally within walking distance from where my hotel was over in the perimeter. So, I tried to sneak in, they were going to try to sit me up and I didn't see where the rest of our family was kind of sitting. We were kind of spread out in a couple locations for our QTUA members. So I just kind of sat in the back, worshiping and fellowshipping. And afterwards I left. Um it wasn't Pastor Tebow, was his other pastor, Pastor Reynolds. Yeah, because Pastor Omar wasn't there that week. So he had a very good sermon. And, as I kind of left, I was out in the balcony area, and I was talking to some of our Q2A folks. And as I was talking, folks heard my voice from the congregation, and they would come up to me. They're shaking my hand, and they said, "I know your voice. Where did I know your voice from?" And I said, "I'm Brother Karras from Covenant Awakenings." That's where I know. That's yeah. And so in grand fashion of our people being who we are, hallelujah. You have to understand why the Most High loves us so much. Our people, they went back into the sanctuary. They were, Brother Karras is here. Brother Karras will come in awakenings. And so there was just like a line that had formed as I'm embracing our family that listen in to this channel. Not, it's not daily anymore. It is, I still try to come on in Monday through Friday, but I've been reserving the Mondays and the Fridays um for Questite Africa. And there's a reason why. There's a strategic reason with that. But I'm going to tell you this because how the Most High is leading our people, and that's not just in the Southeast, this is worldwide. We're all coming together as a sort, or in a sorts. Look, things are going to transcend, right? Whatever teaching, whatever philosophical approach to this awakening, honestly, it won't matter. Because at the end of the day, what's truly at stake is being able to understand how the Most High is moving amongst his people to move us into the direction of going home. Brother Yakoba, last night I was doing something. I caught the replay, but he said it. He simply said this: there may not be a lot of us that have the physical, financial means to get out of here. And you want to know what? I used to say this. I said, Father, how are we going to get up on out of here? Father, how are we going to do this? Father, how are we going to do that? And the funny thing is, I know that when I would say that, right? I know the Most High was sitting on the stone, kind of just laughing at me. Like, you're trying to worry about all that, but here's the thing. You already have all the keys. Everybody does. Everyone does. See, understand when I read Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, when I read how voice, our voice is powerful. When I explain to you what the blessings had been for our people, excuse me, 33 and 7, excuse me, Deuteronomy 33 and 7. Understand that the blessing of Judah is the voice of Judah, and that will bring him into his people. Our hands will be sufficient, and the Most High will be an help to him from his enemies. Oh my goodness. When the Most High was telling me this Thursday, I had been on Deuteronomy 33 and 7 for a little whiles now. What does that mean? On Friday in the workshop, understand, family, it's a different decorum how you carry yourself. You know, here on the live, I could just jump on. I ain't gotta show my face. I can, do all sorts of unseemly activities. I present myself in all sorts of uncouth mannerisms. But on Friday, it was going out amongst our brothers and sisters and explaining to them literally the principles in a more expanded manner of what Deuteronomy 33 and 7 was saying. If you didn't understand the art of diplomacy, that's literally Deuteronomy 33 and 7. And it expands and it expands and it expands. See, that's why I tell people you better be careful. And how you are treating the Gentiles that have accepted our Elohim as their Elohim, that have accepted Yahusha as their savior. because I'm not here to vex anyone that has accepted the Most High through his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. And I'm not here to gatekeep anybody from entering the kingdom. I've said that. If you haven't been on this channel, you haven't heard it, I'm telling you that. That shouldn't be an issue. If you're coming into the comment section and you're showing your heart, okay, go ahead, show your heart. You can show your heart all the day long around us. We don't care. I don't really care. But you're going to have a real issue with the Most High because, you know, that servant that made it late, oh, yeah, he got paid the same amount. So, as I'm giving this workshop and understanding the workshop, the Most High just downloaded some very important principles, and I'll be releasing those through some videos here throughout this channel and some other spaces. But really, now has been the time for us to shine as a light because our judgment in this time of judgment it's changed. And the reason it's changed was because of this. This is one of the scriptures that the Most High downloaded into me. Let me pull this up. Jacoba had read from this, but this is one of the things that I had that I was thinking about. Let me go ahead. I'm going to share this screen. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and yeah. Come on now. Trying to get that a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. So this is Jeremiah 50, starting at verse 20. And it says, in those days and in that time, saith Yahuwah. And this is what I believe. I believe we're in those days and we're in that time. Sorry about that. Yeah. Just trying to highlight, but I can't. Sorry about that. All right, let me go ahead to there. Verse 20. The iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah, they shall not be found. For I will pardon them whom I reserve. So understand when in that thumbnail, I had, Diddy, who's going through a punishment. And the reality is, when you are giving positions and titles in this kingdom, in Babylon, especially as a Yahudim, especially as an Israelite, child of Yasharel, understand that the sins that we have learned is something that is taught to us. It's something that has been shown to us. This is not it's not an inherent nature of ours. But in order for the person that they choose to be a quote unquote success in their kingdom, they have to envy the ways of the wicked, of the oppressor. They have to choose the ways of the oppressor. And at the end of this judgment, all those that have chosen the ways of the oppressor, I don't care how much money you have in your bank account, I don't care how much standing you have in terms of the level of respect that you get in this society or this system. At the end of the day, all those that have relied on this system as their stature, they're going to be brought to naught. And on top of that, all those that have played a part understand they're playing the part of the assignment that has been given to them by the wicked. So the wickedness is being exposed. And now, at this time, as they're trying to find out, yes, people are doing wicked acts on their behalf, people are doing wicked things at their behest. But this isn't, these aren't things that we think of. We don't think of trying to exploit folks for gain. That's not our original thought process. That's something that has been a learned behavior by them. So now they're trying to say, well, these are just something that you all are used to. And it's like, no, it's not. Have you not seen your history? Have you not understood your character from Greece to Rome till now? And a lot of the people, the Gentiles, are understanding and grasping the concept that, well, how could the people act like this? And it's like, well, it's simple because we encouraged it. We showed them it, we encouraged it, and matter of fact, we reinforced it. So now there's a problem with all of the quote unquote leaders of the community, and those leaders of the community being indoctrinated into these wicked systems. Yeah, you may have some mammon or filthy lucre, but guess what? At the end of the day, you were given that not because you were talented, not because you had this or that or whatever, but because they chose to sell out for that position. And that's what it was. It was a sellout. So much media. Thank you for the gift. Hallelujah. And yes, Ama, the covers are coming off. Because why? Because we hit a new phase of judgment. Understand, you know, Last week, when this thing popped off with Diddy, things were starting to go crazy. Understand now, there are parallels to how things are moving here amongst us and how things move in their world, in their societies. Last week, you literally had the pager incident in Lebanon. And then, as that was going on, you then had the Diddy thing coming on out. I told you, family, it was a trump card because it was a buildup. Folks were building up. Whenever you have this type of buildup, and they built up for a while, trying to go after channels, trying to shut channels down, trying to shut down messaging, trying to shut down their financial streams, because that's how this world works. And we could all tell something was getting ready to pop off, and it did. So this weekend, as I'm talking about diplomacy, we literally had the war over there in that Eastern Mediterranean nation get kicked off with Lebanon. And a lot of us, our ruach was could understand something was happening. We felt something occurring. We felt something moving. We felt something stirring in us. Thank you, Brother Cecil, for the gift. Hallelujah. But we didn't know what it was. We said, okay, something's gonna happen. Something big is gonna happen. And then they started with the Diddy thing. And then they ended up with literally a pager, then cellular frequencies. And I told you this on this channel. I wasn't believing anything about the supply chain. Now get out of here. They already were telling you that, lithium batteries and things of that nature, even on planes, posed a risk. And now this was the very first time you saw it being weaponized. And so, as even I tell you, even right now, they're still going with that. Oh, well, it's the lithium battery and it's a substance. And it's like, it's no substance. You can direct a beam of energy or have something that causes the frequency to be in balance. Those electrons stir, and then boom, fissile materials with the frequency. See, family, we're telling you how powerful those frequencies are. I wonder if the megahertz was 1619. Let me stop. Let me stop. Brother Garris. Oh, Brother Garris. I'll have the screen. Let me keep going before I get that white halo. Go. He said he said 1619 megahertz. The secret is out. Pray for Brother Karras, because it looks like I may be flown somewhere south of here, in an island, in the Caribbean that's getting ready to have another hurricane. Fixie that said, OMG, did YouTube start buffering? I guess it did when I started to say 1619. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Hallelujah. And so what ended up happening was this. And let me, I have to show this. Let me share this tab instead. These are scenes, times of Gaza. This is um folks in Lebanon. Let me show you this. Okay. Imagine you're on out there and you are on top of your roof. Let me try to get this a little bit bigger. There we go. Let me try this again. You hear that, and then you see the explosion. Should I stay or should I go now? You just hear the guitar and the chords being strung. Dun-dun-dun. Should I stay or should I go now? You see all these explosions that are happening. The question that you have to ask yourself is, what do I do? You're now seeing a new phase of judgment. See, we're always going to come here, and the reality is that in a short distance of time, this will be here in America. Not it could, not it may, not a high probable. No, this will be here in America. Because he that leadeth, or he that killeth with the sword shall be what? Killed by the sword. That's their blessing, and that is also their curse. So, it was, I got to show you this. So, understand, this is happening real time, family. Let me present this. This is in Lebanon. This is happening real time. Both lanes. You all can see this. Both lanes. Now understand, family, it doesn't take much for bombs to hit in those vehicles, for missiles to hit those vehicles. Do you think people will be driving, or do you think people will be getting out of their cars and fleeing? It's funny because we had that scene, Leave the World Behind, but the problem is, in that scene, people were escaping and you saw all those burnt out vehicles. You saw that in the Civil War scene. People were escaping and you saw burnt out vehicles, and everybody was going the same direction on both sides of the highway to get up on out of there. This is Lebanon. This is southern Lebanon as people are trying to escape and go north. I'm sorry, family, because I have to show you these scenes. Because if you don't see this, folks will never take preparation seriously. Because if you don't think that it won't happen to you in this neck of the woods, as we have the fallacy that everything is secured, this is why it says that Babylon is destroyed in what? In 1 hour. Because why? Because people were not taking things seriously. And this literally just started 72 hours ago. My apologies, family. I wanted to bring this up yesterday on Q2A. But I'm not going to lie. I was totally exhausted yesterday. Wait, let me. There you go. And do you see that? Look, do you see that? Folks are literally outside of their vehicles. I'm sorry. This, to me, that's dangerous. Find another one. Again, folks are outside. Nobody can go. So let me kind of tell you what happens. These are like lane mergers, right? So they'll have like, and let me tell you, this is probably originally I like to say maybe a 6-lane highway, 3 lanes on both sides. The 6-lane highway. Oh yeah, profit. Oh my goodness. Oh, yep. Goodness. I'm gonna talk about that one. Wormwood. Come on. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let me stop. Let me. That's why I'm gonna open up this panel. Oh my goodness. Yes. So this is because I've been over to the Middle East. I've been over to this neck of the woods. This is probably a 3-lane highway, and now you can tell that that it turned into a 10-lane highway. Five to six cars per lane. And now they're trying to smush down because they're either going to, number one, either head into Syria, and Syria, that's not good. And then from there, they're going to head into Turkey. I want to give you this understanding because it's not just Lebanon in this that's being impacted. It's the whole region. These folks are going to end up in Turkey. And Turkey has already said, this is Erdogan, and I loosely quote, that the state of Israel may not be existing by the end of this year. That's Erdogan, YouTube. End quote. Understand what you're seeing. And understand this is just Lebanon and Hezbollah and Israel. We haven't even talked about the Houthis. And we haven't even talked about Iran Shia militia groups, SMGs, which would be coming from the east and heading their way west. Presumably through the Golan Heights and Lebanon. Let's just be honest. They're going to be coming through Lebanon. So this is a problem. And this is why the Pentagon did say that they're going to bring in troops. Let me show you. Folks walking, folks trying to get there. Look, you want to know why they're walking? Because their vehicles have run out of gas. Folks kind of showing the same pictures. And folks driving. See, these traffic are what's going to happen in war. But hey, what can I say? I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna share this. I was eating lunch with a very recognizable Hebrew that also lives here in the Tampa Bay area yesterday. And we were talking, and he brought up the scripture. So I'm going to tell you that made an impression on me. I want to share this. This is Zechariah chapter 2. I lifted up mine eyes again and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, said Yahuwah, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahuwah. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith Yahuwah. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus said Yahuwah Sabaoth, Lord of hosts. After the glory he set me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth toucheth the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that Yahuwah Sabaoth, the Lord of hosts, has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith Yahuwah. And many nations shall be joined to Yahuwah in that day. And shall what? And shall be my people. And shall what? And shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee. And thou shalt know that Yahuwah Sabaoth hath sent me unto thee, and Yahuwah shall inherit Judah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, O all flesh, before Yahuwah, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. Oh boy. Yeah, somehow that scripture gets missed, Zechariah 2:11 and Zechariah 2 and verses 6 through 7. I'm just saying, that's the scriptures. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahuwah. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven. See, the Most High has spread us abroad, but who did he use to spread us abroad? We didn't just get spread abroad on our own. You know what? I'm gonna get spread abroad. I'm gonna go into captivity on my own because I'm just doing what the Most High told me to do. Where those slave ships, I willingly. I'm gonna turn myself over into judgment because I believe that if I turn myself over into judgment, it may go a little bit better with my family. So I'm willingly turning myself. That no, no, that did not happen. Didn't happen that way. The Most High used nations to bring us into our judgment. He used nations to chastise us. And he's going to use nations again to bring us back. Just as we were scattered by the nations, we're going to be brought back by the nations. And when we're brought back by the nations, I'm telling you, the lies that these nations have presented about us and who we are, they're going to be exposed. And when they're exposed, I'm telling you, they're being exposed right now. This is the craziest time to be alive. I'm sorry, family. I should have gone on like Sunday and Monday, because this is the craziest time to be alive right now. Because understand that the nation of the people that claim to be a people that they're not, though nations can see that these people are about to no longer be in existence. And boy, oh boy, for the Christian church, for the Eurocentric church and Eurocentric theology and doctrine, I'm telling you, when their sacred people come to be destroyed, and they have to make the treaty, and they have to say, we're up on out of here, and they're given a couple of months to skedaddle somewhere. Well, Gentiles are going to be asking the question, so if they're not the people, who is? Who are the people? And all we have done has told them, especially on this channel, we're the people. For years on this channel, I have toiled. For years, Brother Yakoba has toiled, and Brother Teyu. For years, Sister Shonda and Sister E, Pastor Kelly, Pastor Rick Fletcher, Sister Gates Holder, Brother Elephant Man Network. I haven't seen so much media. Yep, we're all toiling because why? Because the harvest is many, but the workers have been few. And now they're met with a timing whose timing wasn't on our own accord. It wasn't on our own volition. This was done by the Most High himself. Yep, brothers Esham Burgundy and Lorvins, absolutely. Brother Ron Dalton, absolutely. Brother Benayah, absolutely. Our community has been standing up and has been saying, look, we're drawing out the measuring line. Because why? Because the Most High is getting ready to do a work. I'm not on here just blowing smoke, saying all these things, this and that and that and this. Oh, well, Oh, well, No. Excuse me. We understand we understand how the Most High has been moving amongst the nations. So let me show you this, because there's a couple things we may see it, but we actually may just overlook it. I know I do. Let me go ahead when it comes to these articles. If you are on this channel, if you're new to this channel, I post these articles so you can see what I'm presenting. So this is the Barents Observer. 2 nuclear subs transferred under Arctic ice cap. As part of Exercise Ocean 2024, 1 multi-purpose submarine and 1 ballistic missile submarine sailed under the Arctic ice cap from the Barents Sea to the Pacific Ocean. The subs are the newest in the Russian Navy. Both were commissioned in December last year from the Savmesh yard in the Severodvinsk and have since sailed the White and Barents Sea, sailing from the Barents Sea under the Arctic ice cap to Kamchatka Peninsula is a distance of 4,000 nautical miles. Both the Northern Fleet and the Pacific Fleet have, over the last 2 weeks, participated in Russia's largest strategic naval exercise since Soviet days. The Ocean 2024 allegedly involved about 400 warships, submarines, and support vessels. Why is this important? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you this was last year. Let me give me a second. And I'm showing you these are articles on Twitter, and these are also different articles. Tonight, or this is September 17th, when all the stuff was going down with, Diddy and everything else. The Pentagon has moved about 130 soldiers along with mobile rocket launchers to a desolate island in the Aleutian chain of western Alaska amid a recent increase in Russian military planes and vessels approaching American territory. Understand, family, when Russia had invaded Ukraine, or however you want to call it, invaded, incursion, who knows? I'm not gonna get to semantics of that one. But it was under the guise of literally a military exercise. It's like military faux pas 101. You're never gonna have literally a military exercise ever again, because now whenever they do have an exercise, they have to respond. And yes, you're right. No one has to know. Babylon is being encircled. Babylon is being encircled. This is really an interesting time. Also, last year, because I'm trying to get a verifiable article, because this was last year, there were skirmishes between Russian and U.S. troops last December near Alaska, with some things going down. You've had Russian warplanes. U.S. intercept 6 Russian warplanes. Let me show this. And I'll copy this link address. Let me go ahead, share this with you all. I have the StreamYard open again. If you come on in, please contribute something to what we're talking about, or I will unabashedly, just remove you to the um, off the stream. If you want to talk about something that's of relevance, absolutely. This was as of last year, May 16th, 2023. Yep. This is 6 U.S. jets intercept 6 Russian warplanes near Alaska. NORAD said U.S. fighter jets last week. Well, this is back in May of last year. As American troops held large scale military drills in the state, they were near Alaskan airspace. So now understand, when I had gone onto Questite Africa last Monday. Oh no, was it Monday or Friday? I think it was Friday. The Friday before last. When you had a quote unquote negative depth 2.7, 2.8 magnitude earthquake above ground east of Seattle. Can we see that America is literally being encircled? And I had said this on this channel plenty of times. I said this. If the Russians, particularly, start to have troops on the ground or a troop presence in the United States, then I believe, and I certainly still do believe, that the U.S. won't respond. I still hold on to that. I still believe the U.S. will not respond, even if Russian troops establish a beachhead. I said that last year. And understand, you've heard no one besides that Hal Turner, and then I think maybe even off grid desert farming with Paul and Adrian has stated that, but no one else. And what does that mean? I had said it. I said, look, they're testing capabilities. But the last thing that the U.S. wants to do is directly respond. because it cannot really respond to a hypersonic missile. Because think about this. This was the game that they played. And so Scott Ritter came on and said, "Oh yeah, we're so close to, World War III, and we're so close to nuclear weapons." But he was saying that, but he wasn't really given the actual context of, hey, Russia was, in my opinion, this is my opinion, Russia was testing things out and seeing how the response would be. If they responded, they'd have to acknowledge that there was a hypersonic missile. But to acknowledge there was a hypersonic missile and then to have the response, then they'd have to acknowledge the capability. And if they acknowledge the capability, then they have to acknowledge that they weren't capable to go against the capability. So the calculus was they had to just sit there. Oh my goodness. I know this is hard for folks. I'm trying to give you the strategic, thought process of how your nation's leaders think, especially in the Pentagon. Because if they acknowledged that if something had happened and they did not have the capabilities to physically respond, then everybody would be in chaos. So understand, now they're doing a quote unquote show of force. And that show of force is to align 130 U.S. troops that potentially have no means of countering Russian weapons fire, i.e., they're just sitting ducks. I.e., if you have Russian troops being deployed, well, Canada won't do a thing about it. They won't. They're in deep with the Chinese. And you would literally have the Russians just mosey on down to the West Coast. You have natural protection of terrain with those mountains. You would literally have airplanes that would then be rerouted. I'm giving you some hypotheticals. I'm not saying that this is happening, but I'm just giving you a thought exercise on this. Because yes, Lynn, when Brother Yacoba brought that on out, I think from Steve Quayle, that there were some businesses, some establishments that was no longer taking US dollars, US dinero. I think that's more appropriate since most of the US is about to be balkanized into, Mexico, according to that one balkanization plan, you know, I might as well comienza habla español ahora. Covenant Awakenings is going to be now en español. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo my countdown. and and salsa merengue. Because on that little balkanization map, it said Florida was going to Mexico. ¿Cómo se dice entre captivity en español? My goodness. If you'd like to support this Covenant Awakenings channel, you can do so at Zelle or PayPal. And it'll be at the email karis.copeland@copelandflgroup.com. Unfortunately, my Cash App went away because they closed it on down. They're trying to stranglehold a brother. They said, no more pesos for you, homie. I mean, hombre. Oh. So if you'd like to throw a little bit of pesos my way, I definitely would appreciate it. Oh man. Let me stop. We haven't even made it to Wormwood yet. But this is the state of affairs that we're living in, because I want to go back to that analysis that understand now you have nuclear subs that can go through the Bering Sea, that can go through to Alaska under the Arctic ice cap, that can make its way under the ice. And so now that's going to be basically undetectable. This is what's happening. And so now, if you understand just basic military tactics, if you are able to then go into Russia, it's really a hop, skip, and a jump to the continental mainland United States. So, what happens if you have troops on the ground in the Pacific Northwest? Do you think people are going to stay, or do you think people are going to go? In my calculation, as we saw what was happening on Twitter in Lebanon, folks are going to be leaving. And as folks leave, they're going to have to negotiate how they are able to flee. Do I leave? Do I drive to a safe place? Where would that safe place be? I don't know, Salt Lake City, Denver, and then catch flights from there to the southeast. There's going to be a lot of a coordination effort. Understand, this is exactly what we think about and how we our planning process is. With Questite Africa. Come on, brother Mike. Shalom. Come on. Can I hear you? What's going on, brother Mike? Wormwood must be affecting brother Mike's communication.
Yeah, all right, I hear you. You hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. That was
Man, you know
Wormwood,
what?
brother Mike.
You're right. You're right. You know what? You read me right because I was like, man, let me look this up because it's been a moment. It's been a moment since I did anything about Wormwood, and Sister Shaw was bringing me up to about she was sharing her thoughts on it. So I went into Lamentations, and I mean, no, I think this is something we need to talk about
Mm-hmm.
because oh man, good night. I mean, Lamentations. Now I understood. Now I took Lamentations. What is it, chapter? Well, the whole chapter really, chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if you read that, and then this was the Most High says going to, these things happen to His people, and then that was some. I mean, it's very discouraging. Truthfully, it is until you get closer to the end of the chapter when there's hope. When Most High said that He was not thoroughly going to do away with His people. But then now you're talking about the wormwood in Revelation. Man, now, Cares, I read that whole chapter now. And then the thing that got me was also in the scriptures said that their ships were wrecked. Where's all the ships located right now? A lot of the ships. I mean, I'm trying to understand that because how the book of Revelations, there's some things you cannot take literal and things of that nature. But I mean, just reading, I think that's something that's open up for discussion. So, to find out what brothers and sisters are thinking and things of that nature and try to get an understanding of it. Because all of the the pictures that they claim that these people be drawing, it's some type of star or meteor on fire coming from the heavens down into a vast amount of water. That's what I've been seeing.
Let's look this on up. Let's look this on up.
Go ahead, talk to me.
Was it asteroid near Earth? Because remember, it's like, oh, there's going to be an asteroid. That was going to be in 50 years. And it's like, no, there's an asteroid that's coming. Asteroid near Earth in September. Yeah. End of September.
Right. What is it like? I think it's like 29th.
Yeah, something like that, supposedly.
Mm-hmm. And so my thing is this: is it an asteroid or is it? I mean, they're saying it's like a second moon. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out where everybody see it. Is this like I mean, it just remains to be seen at some stands.
Yeah, let me. I'm trying to find that article.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was saying that it was going to be in the Earth's orbit around September 29th. So
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. Let me ask Sister Chantel. Shalom, Sister Chantel, because
Shalom. Shalom, Brother Mike. How are you? How is everybody?
I'm doing good, sis. How you been holding up?
I'm cool. I'm feeling a little better. My throat is
I know
still.
last time you was sick.
Oh, I'm still sick. I'm still coughing, but it's not as bad as it was before. So, it takes. Sorry, it takes a little while for everything to just come out. You gotta just cough it all up, and everything is disgusting. But it
I
is what
got
it
you.
is. And I just want to say
You probably need a cup
shalom
of
to
tea.
everybody.
You probably need a cup of tea. Wormwood.
I had my Earl Grey this morning, and I know that I'm suffering from it. So I need to. I haven't had a cup of tea in ages, but I want to say shalom to everybody in the chat. It is so good to, I couldn't get a chance to greet everybody, but yeah. And I'll try and stay on topic. Okay, you don't have to be so mean.
Mhm.
Caris.
Well, if you feel that you're the offender, then that's a
Am I
that's a
the one?
personal
Am I
thing.
do I do that? I don't think I do. Like the last time I was
I
on, you
know,
started talking about missiles, and then it just went somewhere else. So I blame
I
you.
know, but I'm just saying, just to give the guidelines, because some of our folks be on out there tripping. I don't need to name no names, folks know who folks can
I've kind of
understand.
missed those ones.
Yeah.
I've heard, but I've missed them.
So let me stay on topic here. Let me stay on topic. All right. So this is business today.
Mhm.
Business today. It says Earth will get a second moon from September 29th. Everything you need to know about 24 PT5.
Everything you need to know. They make it sound like some holiday or like everything you need to know about 2024 PT5. They're weird. These people are strange. It's like it is. Oh my gosh! It is like watching Don't Look Up.
Exactly. I was gonna
It
say
is
that.
just that we're
It's not a
here.
big deal. It says all right. So 2024 PT5 could be anywhere between 16 to 138 feet across, potentially larger than the asteroid that exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia in 2013, causing damage and injury. So here it is. Earth is about to gain an unexpected visitor, a mini moon, but don't blink or you might miss it. Astronomers have just discovered a small asteroid, 2024 PT5, which will temporarily be caught in Earth's gravitational pull, orbiting our planet for just 2 months before slipping away into space. Starting September 29th,
Hold on. Mhm.
because Mike, I know you're going with this. Okay, starting September 29th, this fleeting
Mhm.
moon will make its brief appearance, only to vanish by November 25th.
No, I doubt
So,
that.
yeah, exactly. So, it
Mm.
says here details about the asteroid, its brief capture, and its horseshoe-shaped path were recently published in the research notes of the American Astronomical Society, first spotted on August 7th by NASA's Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Blast Alert System, ATLAS. The asteroid is believed to be about 37 feet in diameter, though more data is needed to confirm its size. So, what does that mean? Oh my! I'm sorry, but the timing, it just seems impeccable, doesn't it? It's impeccable timing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. 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 They're writing the narrative.
They're writing the narrative because why? Because they're not trying to scare anybody.
Mhm.
When judgment happens, you see what? Signs and wonders, right? In the heavens when
Mm-hmm.
judgment starts to happen. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to say nothing, but let me give you a story. Because if I've already given you the explanation, then guess what? It's lazy to it's lazyism.
Well, it kind of goes with what is it? Oh gosh, sorry. It goes with Revelation 16, I think it is, verse 8 and 9. Well, more specifically, verse 9, where it says, ignore the part where it's talking about the sun, but it's the end part where it says, well, I'll just read the full verse, but you'll get what I'm saying. And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of Yahuwah, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. This is them. They're not repenting to give him the glory. They're not actually saying what this is. They know what it is. That's why they're coming up with their little spin doctors trying to formulate their own narrative. And it's so funny because as we read this, it says the fourth angel poured, this is verse 8 that precedes it. The fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Now, what if that is also what if there's a solar flare or whatever that happens at the same time as this, whatever this is that's about to, kapow the earth,
Actually, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you as what you had said and what I was literally just thinking in my spirit. What has Russia been saying that they want to do, that they want to get ready to do? They've been saying this like for almost a year now. What have the Russians been saying for almost a year now that they want to do? What has the Russian people been saying?
You talking about? I don't know what specific, because they've been saying a lot.
Let me ask you something, Karis. Did they make a song about it?
They want to exactly. They want to use nuclear weapons. They literally have been parading in the street asking for the government to make nuclear weapons or to use nuclear weapons.
And they made a song about it. Sleep, Negro, Sleep. Now, yes, exactly.
All right, yeah. I get what you're saying.
America, yeah, black folks are awake now. They may not tell you, that they still have the covers pulled up to their faces, but they're still awake. They're still awake, and yes, Russia has been saying for a while, even their people in the streets, no Washington. No, like they literally were saying like nuke Washington. Come on.
I mean, the reason why I brought this up as well is simply because, like with verse 9, we just attribute the men being scorched with great heat to the sun. What the heck? Sorry, AliExpress just came up on my phone. Yeah, I'm not buying anything, trust me. Yeah, we just attribute that to men being scorched with the sun. What if this is two things happening here? What if this is, they start being scorched with the sun? We've seen that on multiple occasions. We've seen that with the fires, both in your neck of the woods. We saw that over here. We saw that across Europe. We saw Spain had no more water, and France as well. We saw that in China. We saw people's flip-flops literally melting on their feet. And we've seen, like, Australia's been having wildfires for ages, So what if it's that, but it's also when it says the men were scorched with great heat. What if it's also talking about, this thing that is coming? The meteor or whatever it is that they're saying that's coming on the earth, and they're trying to spin a narrative saying, oh, this is what this is, and so on and so forth. That's their way of saying that we are the scientists. Remember, they are the priests of their religion, which is science, right? And they have erected themselves over the Most High, and their God is Satan because he's the God of all religions, including atheism. Atheism is another form of religion, because you have to believe in something. You have to believe in the fact that you don't believe in God. You have to believe something. It's like, I don't understand when they turn and say, I don't believe in religion. Well, what do you believe in? I'm an atheist. So what do you believe in? I believe in I believe in the Big Bang, and so that's a religion. So
All right, but then, you
stupid.
know what? But I'm looking at this though, Karis.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at this. They said they recognize this meter. When was this, Karis?
August 7th.
August 7th. Now,
This
now, and they.
August.
All right, now they said there was another meteor that came and it exploded over the Earth or something, and it caused a little damage or something.
Yep.
Right. All right. Now, but check this out, though, Karis. How is it then that they send this meteor was pulled into Earth gravity and it's going to be around here for 2 months, and then it's going to be? How is it that
it'll pull back out? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It sounds to me.
That don't happen. Exactly.
Don't look up.
This is why I said that their cosmology is just so backwards. It's like, are you kidding me? So you taught us that when something is caught in a gravitational field, that's it. So how are you telling me that this thing is caught in the gravitational field and is swirling round and round around the Earth, and then somehow something is going to what? Push it off again?
Knock it out of the Earth orbit.
All my principles of Star Trek.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
You know,
somebody dial 911.
Greenland. It sounds to me this is Greenland. Oh boy.
It's all of the above.
Yes, it is.
It's and all of the above.
Once that, let me say that if that meteor do come to the Earth, it's going to turn into fire. It's going to burn.
Wait, so
there you go.
You know what they're going to try and do is, as this thing is supposed to not be seen, right? Then over the course of like the 30 days, it's going to be seen, and they're going to be like, "Oh, nothing to worry about," and then they're going to be like, "We got to cancel these elections because little fragments here and there. Oh, it's bigger than we thought it was going to be."
Meanwhile, all the rich are under their little holes. They're in their little hobbit holes.
And amazingly, no other place on this plane or planet, whatever you want to call it, will not be affected. Or excuse me, will be affected, except for, you guessed it, Africa.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I just want. It seems like they said it's gonna be here for 2 months, but I want to see this thing in this. This meteor in this orbit, and are they giving any type of shape to this, Karis? Are they any type of photo that they claim that they took?
I don't know what NASA has drawn up. Image.
The CGI is so crap as well.
To donate to this channel, because I know I'm about to get a halo of death. Let me
donate to NASA so they can get it right.
Man, listen, y'all don't even know this stuff is This is crazy how it's playing out. Y'all can donate Zelle or PayPal. They don't shut down the Cash App. Thank you for those that are supporting through that. Your contributions, your donations are definitely appreciated. Because I still got to pay some bills to keep this channel open or on. Even though in about 2 months it looks like everything is just going to collapse anyway. But
I always used to look at their when they're on the news and they're talking about the space program and they're talking about, oh, this is what's going to happen, and they'll show you these CGI images, and I'm like, can you not for once just show us the thing? They never do. I have never, and then when they do show something, it's this grainy picture, and I'm like, we have the sharpest phones on this earth, and you can't even show me something. You can fly a rocket to the moon, and you've got the technology, so you say, to launch these things out to space, where you had a spacecraft a satellite fly past Saturn and take pictures of that of its, you know, the the top of it, what's it called, the hexagon, is it hexagon, yeah, the hexagon, and also it's the red spot that has apparently been raging for, was it over 300 years, so they say. You've got all of this, but you can't take a clear picture of it.
I'm gonna put you on an honest thing. When I was my company, I installed cameras in banks, and I always said, what you talking about? They have those cameras. They meant to buy those cameras, because when they take pictures of people robbing the bank, they do not want a clear picture. They got insurance on that money. They got insurance on that. And so, yeah, you go in there, you look at the bank, and the bank and you got these little cheap cameras up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are made, and now this is the thing. They can make those images as blurry as they want and make like that's in the hard drive. And so I'm saying that for this reason, because they will literally give you what they think you need to see.
Yeah.
It's something out there, but you can't make it out.
Because it's you're more susceptible to digest whatever BS, that comes out of their mouth, so that you that's the magic of Hollywood. See, they bombard you with all these images from Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, all these out of world places and so on and so forth, so that you have it in your mind. It's ingrained in your mind. Even when people show you the image of how stupid this thing looks, and it's like, well, they're not showing you an actual image. They're showing you a rocket, a CGI version of a rocket. It's so pants anyway. They're showing you this, but because you've been indoctrinated with this, you believe the lie. That if that isn't a religion, if that's not Christianity as well, I really don't understand. So when you show people, the same way how we try to show people, we present the truth about who we are and what Christianity is, people still can't believe the truth, even though it's right in front of their face. You could literally put it out step by step, ABC it for them, and they still don't see nothing. It's the same thing with all of this. This is why this whole system is called Babylon. Everything is just a lie. And it's all literally built on glamour and witchcraft. Because if you didn't have Hollywood is like the biggest form. Propaganda is the biggest form of witchcraft. It is, because you need the illusion. You need that glamour to create the illusion. If they didn't have that, there's no way a normal person would ever stomach what they've been showing us. No way. It would never work. That's why most people back in a certain period of time, they always knew the people starting to believe that the earth was round isn't as long ago as people think. Because there were a few people that were like, no, well, this doesn't make sense. Just the same way how a lot of people, especially you guys, Americans, realized that we do not want this banking system. They understood what the banking system would have done to their country. But somehow it is what it is now. And people are just so ignorant to a lot of things that's happening in the world today.
I'm just trying to figure out how in the world this asteroid is staying in the orbit for 2 months. Have there ever been any asteroid that just just was in the orbit?
I know, and I suppose it's the size that it is as well. It's that tug, that push me, pull me, that tug of war thing. You've got these two opposing forces. Obviously, the Earth, as they say, according to their cosmology, is a lot greater in size, but you've got this thing that is also being pulled, and it's going to stay in orbit for 2 months. That's just ridiculous. How does that work? Like,
Well, supposedly, the asteroid is from the Arjuna asteroid group, which shares a similar orbit around the sun as Earth. After completing its brief stint as a mini moon, 2024 PT5 will make another close flyby in January 2025, and astronomers predict it will return as a mini moon in 2055 and again in 2084. I think they're just making up numbers.
of course, I was
Yeah.
as I'm listening to it and reading it, I'm like, these people are trying to sound. They want to stay relevant. That's all. There's nothing. Nobody listens to scientists anymore. Have you not noticed?
Yeah.
The time where I used to watch them on National Geographic. Is it National Geographic or whatever the other channel was? But I used to watch them, especially that little Japanese guy and all these scientists. I can't even remember their name because they're so irrelevant to me now. But I used to watch all of them. I loved. I can't stand that Negro. You see, I really can't stand that man. I just want to pull out his hair. Like, ugh. I really can't stand him. He's so conceited and arrogant. I don't like him at all.
You gotta remember, but that's how they train us, right? You know, that's the puff daddies and all that other stuff. That's how they train us. They train us to, you know, to act that way. I just posted this in the chat. This is another one for Wormwood. Earth to get a new moon on September 29th, scientists say. This is by Jamie Carter. I just posted that link in the chat. Here you go. Here's your rendering, Mike. They don't know what it looks like. This is just, you know, they're rendering. Okay.
Yeah. They're just doing something all right.
It's gonna hit Florida. You know, we just
and you know what? And they just so happen they got it like it's right above America, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason why. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of eyeing up Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, man. I'm done.
Hey, like y'all about to get a piece of the rock.
I'm done. Please don't try to get me and my family out of here. Brother Mike, do you have any extra rooms in Tanzania?
Man.
Look at it. Just another CGI picture. That's what I'm saying. All of it CGI. It's like you've got satellites out there. How many satellites do they claim to have that's orbiting the Earth? And that's the best you can come up with? That?
Well, I look at it like this. I think that these are, you know, low Earth photos and things of that nature. Because when you do fly over New Orleans, it does look like this. When you do fly over Florida.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. Yeah. I was talking about the second moon.
Oh, this? Yeah, no, that's totally CGI. Yeah, and they won't say that it's CGI. They're just gonna be
even down to the speckles of stars outside there. It's it's just like space is so big, and you've got all these like, oh my gosh.
Well, hold on. We got a problem. I mean, it's called common sense. It's kicking in on me. Let me ask you something.
They don't like common sense.
Now, carrots. Did they not say that this meteor was pulled in by the Earth gravity, right?
Yes.
Right now, what's going to make it just sit there for 2 months? So the Earth gravity will say, all right, stop right there. And I need for you to hang out with the moon. Is this what they're trying to feed?
Well, listen,
I'm sorry, Mike. I love the fact that you are literally, this is in your brain, like you're trying so hard to break this down. I love it.
Well, Mike, in order for you to understand this, the best explanation I can give you is it's from Stargate and Stargate Atlantis. On the episodes where the spaceship had to be boomeranged.
You're there now. Round the accretion disk. You're there now. Oh, you far.
But my thing is this. If this meteor,
you're far along.
If this meteor is not literally being still, but you said it's being pulled in. If it's being pulled in, it means it's going to come a little bit. It's going to come further. I mean, it's going to get closer and closer.
Exactly.
Because
Once
it
it's
is
in
moving
a
now.
stable orbit, it's in a stable orbit.
Right.
If it's circling the Earth for 2 months, it's in a stable orbit. At some point, that stability will decrease and it will fall, because that's how gravity works. That's how they've been teaching us. You can't turn around and say, "Oh no, it doesn't work that way anymore. It's going to go right back out." Then what is what? There has to be an equal force that's going to pull it out. What
So
is there
my
another
thing is,
Earth?
they saw the Most High throwing down a projectile, and folks have the opportunity to get out the way of this projectile. But the problem is that the wicked won't tell you where this projectile is about to hit. I'm just saying.
No. Only thing you're going to recognize that the media is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, now y'all didn't say nothing about this media keep growing. Hey.
Why is this media bigger?
Oh, exactly.
Don't worry, it's gonna
bigger than the moon.
It's gonna go right back to space. We don't want to panic nobody, but I don't think the media's gonna go back to space. So take cover. Man, that plays out. That'll be mass pandemonium.
Yeah.
Look, wait. Wait a second. Let me.
Didn't you mention what's it called? The Titanic.
Here we go. Ho ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith Yahuwah, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heavens, saith Yahuwah. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. I don't know about y'all, but it don't take me no type of never mind to be up and out of here when that asteroid gets closer. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I like verse 9 though.
Mm-hmm. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them. Is this the hand of the Most High? Setting this on out. I'm just saying, man. Oh yeah, that picture is definitely from NASA. Over Florida, over the United States. Yeah.
They're letting you know.
I think it's over Atlanta.
But you know, they're also showing you prophecy.
Yeah.
But this
because
is the thing.
Even with that, that's literally prophecy. So it's like they're showing you, because they have to. That's part of the magic trick. They have to show you the truth before they manipulate it. You know.
All right. But then did not the Most High said that all right, before I go there, don't meteors usually have other smaller rocks traveling with it?
Yeah, they do, because they have their own gravitational pull, their own gravitational force. That's what
should
they
we
say.
Be expecting? All right, should we be expecting some Volkswagens or baseball or basketball
we saw all of that in Armageddon, didn't we? So we're expecting that. We expect something like that to actually happen over Paris as well. And New York is going to get hit. So yeah, I'd say we're pretty much, that's going to happen. Yeah. I mean, that's according to their projections. And remember, they put it in the film, in the TV series and all the other stuff. So they'll put it in there first.
I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. I mean, they're talking about this media and everything, and then I heard some brothers talk about Nibiru, something like planet Nibiru. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at least I ain't never heard of it or seen it, for that matter.
That's Planet X.
And where is it located at?
Your guess is as good as mine. Some people have been saying for years that they've been seeing what looks like another planet coming into our orbit. And it's yeah, that's yeah. It's so funny because isn't that Eddie Griffin?
Here
I
we
Yeah.
go. Here we go. We gotta get the dogs on out of there. Fair use. Fair use.
The Hawaiian guy got it though.
Oh,
The Hawaiian guy got it. Look at it. Oh, legs, man.
somebody call. Please call 911. There's an asteroid coming to my home. Uh-oh.
Nothing they could do about that.
Please call 911.
Man, now, let me ask you something else on this meteor thing. Would that be let's just say hypothetically speaking that this meteor is being pulled into the Earth gravity along with the smaller ones and things of that nature, but those things start to hit Earth. Now, will they just all of a sudden say, hey, you know what? We miscalculated. This thing is going to hit Earth. And it's look like it's projected to hit the United States. With that, but with that, when the Most High said all the people would be going to his and her own land.
I think what they would do, I think they'll probably try to say that that there are some smaller pieces that have broken away from the orbit of this meteorite. Because remember, they want to keep you in that foolish mindset as long as possible. So they'll probably turn around and say, oh, the smaller ones managed to break away because of the gravitational pull of the Earth, because it's greater than the meteorite. So the gravitational pull of the Earth has pulled away some of these smaller ones and have hurled them onto us. Some of them broke up in the Earth's atmosphere, so it's only a few that made it through. But don't be panicked, because that meteorite is still just traveling around and it will break away. That's the foolishness. That's what they're gonna say.
Here's what Sister Anissa says, and this is where I was going with this. When bombs are incoming, they're going to try to convince us it is the asteroid meteor instead of a war against us.
And yeah, they probably would. They'll use that.
They'll use it exactly. Now, will there be something in the heavens? Yes, I believe there will be. Will it be stuck into the gravitational pull? I don't know. But will it be a sign for the Most High, as X Carbon Black is saying? Absolutely. Because why? These folks are going to look at this as this is a sign from the heavens. This is a sign from the Most High to strike.
You know what? I think you're actually right. Karis. I mean, if we stay in, I was just going to say, if we stay in context to how these people are, by their very nature, they are symbiotic. They don't create things. What they do, apart from chaos, what they do is they cipher off whatever is available and they twist it into something else and make it their own. We've seen that. That's what they've done to everything. The history that they've created. We found out you didn't build the castles; it was us. We've seen you in that picture with the as the wild men, while our people were defending the castles. We see what you did during TikTok with all those dances, where all you ever did was literally take our content and make it your own. That's what they are as a people. So it kind of stays on track that they will take that. I mean, look at what they've done to our scriptures. They take and they twist and they use it to their advantage. So of course I agree with you. It's likely that they will do that and they will twist it and they will, because that's what they do. They're symbiotics. They're symbiote.
And Lucky Gamit, exactly. Especially if it's hypersonic. Like that's and you have to understand. Look, everybody's always asking, man. Well, when is Putin gonna move? When's Iran gonna move? When's China gonna move? Do you all understand this? These are all Eastern cultures, and everything in Eastern cultures, including Russia. Don't get it twisted with Russia. A lot of them Russians are Mongolians. A lot of Mongolians are just a cousin of the Chinese Scythians.
Yep.
And guess what they always
Turians,
do?
actually.
Yep, guess what they always do? They always move on what? On a sign from the what? The heavens.
They're very they look to the heavens, and if it's auspicious, they will go with
Yeah,
whatever. That's because
yeah.
that's how they move.
That's how they
That
move.
is how they.
That's how they have their calendars, the Chinese calendar. That's how they have their, astronomy. Don't think that
Yeah,
they gave up all that stuff just because they went to communism. No, that's still in their makeup.
it's exactly. It's just the same way how certain things is in the genetic makeup of their language.
Hmm. That's still their culture. Don't get the communism bit full of it. No, no. They're looking at it as this is a sign in the heavens, and now in the signs in the heavens, now it's time to go. Now it's time to move.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I mean, they can sit up and say it's gonna be orbiting for 2 months. But if you got eyes and you start measuring things, that thing's getting bigger. Yeah, don't sit there and don't wait on it. If it keep on getting bigger and bigger, you got a problem on your hands.
I listen, I don't think it's gonna come through the firmament, but what I do believe is it's gonna be a sign from the heavens, that this is, you know, here it is. It's an astronomical, sign to move.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Remember,
Karis. I mean,
remember,
how,
remember,
mhm,
think about this. Now
mhm.
think about this. Remember, there was actually a lunar sign on February 24th of 2022. I distinctly remember we were going over this on this channel. Sister Chantel, do you remember that? We were going over that regarding like something was going on in the heavens at that time. And then Russia had moved literally that very day. But said it wasn't said of Russia moving until 2 days later. Until 2 days later.
Hmm.
We had that we were talking about this on Covenant Awakenings, and I believe we're talking about it on Teo Ministries. And literally, that's when Russia had moved 2 days, or, they moved that day. And we didn't find out until like a couple days later. It's like 72 hours later that they had been that things had moved. And now here's what I'm telling you, because this article, I don't know how the Most High showed this, but he showed it. Hallelujah. I'm going to share this, and I'm going to put this article here in the chat.
Sorry, did you say something to me?
Yes. So do you remember like a couple of remember when Russia had moved into Ukraine? Remember there was also an astronomical event that was occurring that same day?
I
Or
do
that same
remember that.
time?
I do
Yes.
remember that.
And they moved at that same exact time. I'm telling you, family, go back and listen to that broadcast from February 2022, over 2.5 years ago. And we were talking, and it was literally Russia was moving at the exact same time because they were going through the Olympics and everything else, and it was like there were also astronomical events happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that astronomical event had happened, and they were more focused on the astronomical event than Russia. Because they're like, oh, they're just gonna line up, right? They're gonna line up, and then they're gonna go away. Remember, we just showed how
Yeah.
the United States had did what? They brought over 130 troops to Alaska with multiple launch rocket systems because of activities going on. They say activities going on in Alaska near the Alaskan border. And they just had 2 Russian nuclear submarines that were commissioned last year that went underneath of the Arctic ice cap. Why? Why is this important? Because if you are a military tactician, you would understand that if they're launching hypersonic missiles, what would be the first thing that they take out? Defenses and offensive weapons, especially in the Pacific Northwest. Because why? Because then they would go and mosey themselves along down that the Pacific Cascades and set up shop, and then continue to move. To me, their base of operation is going to be somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. To me, why? Because if you then have a air defense coverage zone, it's nestled where? Right on the west side of what? Of the Cascade Mountains. So you have your natural terrain. Well, maybe I'm giving. Look, Russia did not pay me. I'm sorry, Russia did not pay me. I'm just giving you an intelligence operation of how you would do the battlefield. Because you don't have to shoot into the Midwest. They don't have to shoot into, Knob Noster or any other of these places. They don't have to go to that. They don't have to shoot over into North Dakota and South Dakota, or Cheyenne. They don't have to do any of that. They just have to interdict weapons.
But then they use one of those hypersonic missiles already.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Purportedly, right? Supposedly, purportedly. I believe that, I just want to make sure I clarify this. I believe that it was highly probable that a hypersonic missile was used.
No, they said it was used. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they be lying so much.
Yeah, they're not going to say They're not going to say that it was used. No,
but I said, but they did say it got there in 11 minutes, and it traveled like 2,000 not miles. What do they call it?
Oh, no, you're talking about the Houthis.
All right.
Yes, yeah, and that was around the same date. Like, we saw that the Houthis had used the weapon, and then the event in the Pacific Northwest in Washington. So yes, so the hypersonics are getting around.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have hypersonics with Russia and China, well, to me personally speaking, you don't really have to have a overt fighting force. I believe that when the deal goes down and their people that are here are activated, you already have a force in waiting. I'm just saying, you already have a force in waiting.
Well, all of that sounds biblical anyway. So, yeah, I agree. There's so much verses in the Bible that literally talk about how, all those men, all those people that were at peace with you. We see that in Obadiah. It's in Jeremiah. We see it in, I think it's in Isaiah as well. It's in a lot of places, and I'm sure it's in Revelation as well. So it's like they are going to be deceived. It's and it's kind of like it's owed to them because they themselves have deceived the whole world. So it's only fair and right that they, in their last gasps of breath, they themselves are deceived badly.
This is the
Yeah, well,
last.
man, what did you got, Karis? What is this? A
All right.
barcode?
Yeah. So this is if I can. Come on. Sorry. There we go. This is from
Uh-huh.
Reuters. I put that link in the chat. It says Hezbollah says Israel dropping leaflets with very dangerous barcodes onto Lebanon. By Reuters. This is as of today, September 24th. September 24th. Hezbollah media office said on Tuesday that Israel was dropping leaflets with a very dangerous barcode on them onto Lebanon's eastern Bekaa Valley, warning that scanning the code by phone would withdraw all information from any device. There was no immediate comment from the Israeli military. Hezbollah's media office did not say if anything else was written on the flyers. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, they going all in, ain't they?
Okay,
Man.
so let me tell you this. For Reuters to report this is a huge deal. For Reuters to report this, and honestly, not just for Reuters to report this, but for Hezbollah to report what's happening on the ground, and this made it into Reuters. Come on now. Yep, Melody. Yep, Melody. It is like the leaflet from Leave the World Behind.
Mm-hmm.
Scan that barcode, and guess what? Your phone becomes inoperable because you're not able to record any information. You're not able to upload information. What is that doing? It's
From the
destroying.
communication.
Yep, they're taking out the telecommunications.
Mm.
So if you're taking out
know,
the telecommunications, then guess what? You're going to invade.
mm-hmm.
You're going to invade an area because why? Because nobody can then utilize any communications to be a first responder.
Mm-hmm. It's like I was listening to another content creator on YouTube, and there was a guy from here. He's a rapper. He's called Low Key. I think he's Muslim, but he was basically saying, he said something that I'm like, yeah, you're right. He said that the world, and this is coming from his mouth and everything, and he's not lying. He said the world despises them as a nation. He said the world despises them as a nation, and he's not wrong. It does. We only see what they put out, like, the politicians and so on and so forth. They're the ones that, and obviously they have their supporters and everything. But the vast majority of the world, as the world continues to look on, they have created for themselves they are the villains. And that's that for them. I mean, for the Gentiles in general, they don't like that. They don't want to be that. But for these people, they really don't want to be that. But it's like they can't help themselves. And it's so funny because it's like when you read the scriptures where the Most High says, I'm going to make you do my will. It's like you can see it because it's like you would think to yourself, why are you doing this? Common sense should tell you that this is not going to work. Common sense should tell you that it's not going to be favorable. Common sense should tell you that the world is starting to hate you since you are so concerned with your public image. You need to be seen as the C word. what we are. You need to be seen as Kodesh, right? But you're not. And it's like you're not acting in your best interest. You can't even turn around and say that you're being afflicted, because you turn around and say that people will laugh in your face, but of course they still say that the individuals, some of these so-called their activists and some of their politicians. And why do they say that? Because they use the fact that they have turned themselves into villains, so that people end up despising them. And through the people despising them, they then turn that into a victim mentality. It's like, oh, we're the victims. Like, because we're doing this, in their heads, they truly believe that I don't know if they do believe that they're defending themselves, but they keep putting that out there, and they're using this as a means to create or turn themselves into the victims. And it's like, people are not buying it anymore. So that's why they will keep throwing around the AS word, but even that is losing its meaning.
Yeah, it's losing its
Nobody cares. Because some people are like, well, I guess I am then. If telling the truth offends you, then fine, I am. That's the mentality. Once upon a time, you say that to somebody, people would get offended. It was the same way how people get offended by if you turn around and say that you call them the R word after they've said the N word. And now it's like, but that still holds weight. But the AS don't hold any weight anymore, because people are like, no, we don't care. If you want to call me that, call me that. I don't care. I'm going to speak the truth. So that's how it is.
Oh yeah. Now they closed the West Bank Al Jazeera office this weekend. Yep. I saw the how they were going into that. And this to me, when they say they're dropping leaflets with a barcode. They're dropping leaflets with barcodes. That is, warning that scanning the code by the phone would withdraw all information. That they're taking their information and that they're literally rendering their device useless.
We got to be careful, because certain things that it's like they show you what they're planning on doing. And as you're saying that, talking about barcodes and rendering it useless, I'm thinking about all those things that they tell us, oh, you need to scan this. And I'm like, how many times do we scan things? And they could, if they wanted to, use these things where you need access. They're making it hard where you have to scan these things just to get access to certain things that we take for granted, things that we need. And then before you know it, we're in the same situation. It's not going to be that long before they do that. They're just showing you what they're doing over there. It's the same thing of how they showed you what's going on in Venezuela. It's the same thing they show you about how what China's doing with maintaining control over their people. They show you what they want to do.
Man. Yeah, this family. Look, I'm telling you, we're in the times where it is like no other. Are we close to the end? Are we close to the end? I would say, yeah, absolutely. I don't know how long. I'm not giving you any dates. They're the ones giving dates now. Sister Chantel, did I not say that on this channel? We won't know until they what?
Until they start doing things.
Until they start giving out dates.
We just go along with. They're the ones that know what they're planning, what they plan to do. And I think really and truly, it's it's they're kind of reacting to what the Most High is doing, because they know more. They know more about what the Most High is going to do than we do. Remember, they've got books and so on and so forth, things that we don't even have. What
Yeah.
we're doing, we're operating on the Holy Spirit. That's why they're so shook when they see us understanding certain things about the scriptures. You need to understand, it terrifies them. These people they go to H school for this their whole lives. They go to H school their whole lives to know half of what we know. That's why they're so confounded as to, how did they know this? We never thought about that, because the Holy Spirit ain't with you. You ain't his people. You ain't his people. So they're running scared. They're terrified. So they are reacting. Listen, these people do numbers. They do numbers. They have their, what's it called, numerology, and the numbers are not running the way they want it to. That's how they've governed themselves, through numbers, through color charts, everything. When they see certain things, these people are so superstitious. When they see certain things and certain numbers, yeah, and they would literally go with what the numbers was telling them. That's their witchcraft. It's not even it. I'm not even going to say it's witchcraft. It's not witchcraft, but the way they use it, it is, because the Most High works with numbers as well. We know that. But now they're putting out numbers. It's like throwing the dice, and it's like every time they throw it, it's coming back with snake eyes, and it's driving them crazy. And then they're seeing that we're understanding what's going on. They are ahead of us as to what is about to come upon them. That's why everything they do, we know. Okay, we know about Wormwood, but they put out this image and say, oh, this is what that is, because they already knew it was coming. So they've been preparing and planning, and that's the best picture they could come up with, by the way. They've been preparing for all of this. They knew when we were dead asleep. They've been preparing. Do you guys remember when 2014, when you had all of them going, oh, it's the moons, the blood moons, oh. Does anybody remember that? Because I remember that. I remember watching them. I was dead asleep then. And I'm like, the new moons, what's going on? Not new moons, the blood moons. Talking about all these successions of blood moons and everything.
And back in 2021 and 2020, late 2021, early 2022. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about from 2014 when the first one started coming.
Yes.
And they started, there's one particular one of them. He's very hairy, like dark hair. Like, I don't know his name. I don't care. He's just another one of them. But he was basically saying how this is a time for their people, and we need to be prepared. We need to be ready. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? Because I'm watching. I don't care. I wasn't bothered, but I was a Christian back then, so I'm interested about what's going on. What's the signs in the heavens? Now he started talking about how the Jews are going to go through a certain transition or whatever. Obviously, they're attributing that to them. Then what happened? 2015, 2016, some of us started waking up. I know I started waking up in 2015. I started looking into things, and it was only at 2016 I was like, okay, that's it. This is who we are, right? I accepted it. It was, they knew from then we was waking up. They knew. But you know, these liars are going to lie, and they're going to turn around and try and make it about themselves, because they have to continue with the narrative. But I never forget, they were running around like little headless chickens talking about, oh, this is a time for us, and we're going to go through this, that, and the other. We may have to go through some great tribulation, but everything's going to be all right, because we're going to come out of it in the end. And I'm like, hold on. Why are you going through anything? You don't believe what the Christians believe about how you're going to go through your 7-year this, that, and the other. You're already in the land that you claim you were supposed to be in. So why are you going through what you claim you're going to go through now, when you're supposed to be living it up where you are? But these people and all these stupid Christians that want to follow them, go ahead, follow them.
Well, what does it say? The blind are leading the blind, and they do what?
They
They
fall into the
falling
ditch.
into the ditch, and we see them falling into the ditch right now. I mean, look, everything. See, war is it's a funny profession because when you go to war, you begin to let out all of your tactical secrets and understand this actually puts the U.S. in a bind because um, Israel knows basically everything that the U.S. does because the U.S.
Harris, are you
does.
supposed to say their name?
I mean, yeah. I'm just saying they're at war, so I think that's ain't no other nation that's there at war.
Yeah, but
So.
they're so touchy.
Hmm. But it is the state of the state right there is in war. Also, on top of that, wow, we didn't even talk about the UN General Assembly. I think we'll touch on that tomorrow, and what's been happening there, um, because that opens today. Opens up Tuesday, 24th, the 79th session through this Saturday, the 28th, and then concludes on Monday, 30 September. So, um, yeah, electing the non-permanent members of the UN Security Council. So that's going to be a historic. They're actually talking about two African nations being elected.
Do you remember
So
when they didn't even talk about Africa at all?
exactly, they didn't talk about Africa at all, and now it says electing the non-permanent members of the Security Council. Mm.
Now Africa seems to be on their lips all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this and
But America's the land of.
the theme for the general debate of the 79th session of the General Assembly. I'm reading this from the UN. I'll put this right here, UN.org. This is what I'm reading from. It says here, um, the general theme for the theme for the general debate of the 79th session of the General Assembly is leaving no one behind. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you can't make this up. Leaving no one behind. Does that not sound like almost a moniker for leave the world behind?
Yes, it does.
Come on, family. Leaving no one behind. Leave the world behind. Acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for present and future generations. Wow. This is mm. I'm telling you, family. I'll let you interpret the signs. I'm just giving you what I know. At the end of the day, everybody has a personal choice, and I would say you have to pray. Pray, get on your knees, get into the scriptures, and you have to let the Most High lead you. Oh no, they're not going to give them any veto power. Look,
No, 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 no.
it's like look, as long non and they just put non-permanent members.
I would find that an insult.
Yeah, it is because they're asking for permanent members.
I'll be like Anakin. It's an insult. Grant me that's it. I would be saying, you know what? I don't want it. Keep it. That's the best thing they could do. If our African leaders did that, I'm telling you. If they said, no, you know what? You're not giving us veto, keep it. Keep your position. If they did that, if they had showed a little bit of backbone and they did that, oh, let me tell you, these people be running behind them. They would, because they would be too scared. Oh my gosh, they don't want it. And then you form your own. Look how that place went crazy when they were kicked out. Look how the West went crazy when they didn't have access to know, well, what are you talking about in your little bubble, your African, what are you talking about? Let us know.
When they got kicked out of the African Union,
Yeah.
they literally lost their
It wasn't just there. It wasn't just them that was offended. Now, obviously,
it was the
these people,
Europeans that were
right?
most offended because they already know what they use that Eastern Mediterranean nation as. It's the closest thing that they can get to literally the continent. It's the closest thing they can get
Yes,
to Africa.
yes.
That
And you
is
didn't have your spy in there to tell you what was going down,
yeah, and the
so
spy
you didn't know.
Yep, the spy couldn't even get in. So this is now. This is how it's going. All right, final comment, Sister Chantel, because I'm gonna shut this on down. So
That's okay. I got
yeah.
things to do. Oh,
All right.
it's Mike.
Thank you,
Go on.
Sister Chantel. Yeah, we'll be on this Thursday or Wednesday and Thursday because a lot of stuff is going to be developing over the next couple of days, weeks, hours, minutes, moments.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to say I got your book, by the way.
All right, thank you, sister. Look, yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh, it went to somewhere in Europe. I said, I bet you the sister.
Yeah, 2 of them. My mum's got one. I've got one. So yeah, we've got our books.
Thank you, Sister Chantel. I'm an international author.
International. That's right, man.
International. I
Now
made it across
Jacoba's
the
coming out
sea.
with his.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good too.
I might write my book, but it'll come with lots of colors, places to draw and color in. But anyway, thank you for having me on. And family, it was nice to spend time with you all. Shalom to everyone, and be safe.
All right, shalom. Thank you, Sister Chantel. Yeah, so thank you, family. Again, I got shut down last week on Cash App. I kind of knew it was coming. Yakoba and them had some Cash App issues, and Cash App just shut me down. So if you've been trying to give the Cash App, well, you can no longer do that. It looks like the only thing that I can accept payments on is Zelle or PayPal, and I don't even know if that works. But I'm asking if you can support through those channels. So you have that here. That's Karis.Copeland at CopelandFLGRP.com. Yes, family. Again, don't be dismayed. Don't be frightened. Don't be scared. The Most High is in the midst of His people. We've seen that in the scriptures. So, if anything, just try not to be prideful, in this moment, because this is a moment that I'm going to tell you, we have never been here before. And the nations know that, and the nations are scared. So we told them that the Most High was going to do His thing. And now that He's doing His thing, well, they can't say that we never warned them. They can't say that we've never warned them. But with that said, family, Most High willing, we'll see what happens and transpires literally over the next 24 hours. We can't even get through 24 hours. We'll see what happens in the next 6 hours. I mean, for real, it's like that. That's how this news cycle is. It's literally like that. It's hours. We can't even go days. It's hours. So with that, family, Most High willing, you'll see me on tomorrow. And with that, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Yasharel.
The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.